Being Malaysian and growing up in a multicultural country, English is not typically everyone's first language. It's not even their second or third language sometimes. So in this video, we're going to talk about how to speak English when it's not your first language without sounding insecure. So before we start, there is one thing that everyone needs to do if English is not their first language. And I think by watching this video, you've already done that. So congratulations. But first of all, you need to give yourself permission to speak English. Your insecurity towards speaking English isn't about your poor grammar or your lack of fluency. It's basically stemming from your expectations of yourself. So stop judging yourself. Good communication isn't perfect grammar, it isn't fluency. Good communication is the ability to get your point across clearly. So, one of the things that you can do to sound confident when you speak English, or just sound confident in general, regardless of the language that you speak, is by slowing down. When you slow down, you're able to give your mind time to think about what you're going to say next. I know speaking a language that you're not 100% fluent with can be nerve-wracking, right? And when we're nervous, we tend to speak very fast. So slow down. And when you slow down, you can turn your fillers like ums and ahs and things that show that you're very confused or lagging with pauses. And when you pause, it makes you sound like you're thoughtful about what you're about to say next. And that alone can make you sound a little bit more confident, regardless of the language that you're speaking. The second thing that I want to mention, how to speak English confidently when it's not your first language, is to speak in shorter sentences. A big mistake that a lot of speakers not native to English do is by speaking in long, windy sentences with big, flowery words because they want to sound smart. They want to sound like they can speak the language fluently. But you're supposed to speak in complete thoughts, not perfect sentences. So use shorter sentences. Use sentences less than 7 words. Let me give you an example. There are 2 examples. The first one is a long-winded sentence. What I'm trying to say is that we should probably do blah, 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 blah. That was a good sentence, but it was a bit long. What you can do is simplify it, right? The same sentence, here's it shorter. Here's my point. We need to change blah, 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 blah. Simple. You lay out the point, then you continue your sentence. So when you speak in shorter sentences, it naturally makes you sound more confident. It's not about your ability in reading a thesaurus and understanding all the words, but it's your ability to get the point, to the point, and get your listeners to understand. This is where my third point comes in, where you should use structure to your advantage. How you can do this is, before starting your conversation, talk about the point that you want to bring. Lay out your points off the bat. So when you're able to say, I have 2 observations, observation 1 and observation 2, and then only elaborate on your observations, that will be able to command the attention of your listeners. And when you have their attention, they forget about accent and they focus on the message that you're trying to get across. Speaking fluently, communicating well is not about your accent, it's not about your fluency, it's about your ability to get your point across. So, what you can do is take 5 minutes every day and talk about a random topic. It could be something current in the news, it could be a random word generator. But take 5 minutes, speak about the topic, no correction, don't correct yourself, don't restart, and practice pausing when you feel like you're gonna go or ah. And this will be able to sharpen your ability to sound confident and get your message across when you're speaking English or any language.